Welcome to Empowered by EAST Season 2. I'm Aly Hobson from Whitehall High School.
And I'm Blair Huddleston from Wynn High School. This year, we're celebrating 30 years of EAST, revolutionizing education.
This season, we're going to be talking to people from EAST at every single level. Students, facilitators, alumni, and community partners, and learning how they have made EAST what it is today.
Now, let's jump into today's episode.
Welcome to Empowered by EAST, episode 1 of the 2025-2026 school year. We're so happy to be back for season 2. Today we are at the EAST30 Kickoff Celebration here at Greenbrier High School, and we've had an incredible day so far, and there's a lot more to come. We're so excited, and I'm very excited because I'm here with a very, very special guest. If you could please introduce yourself.
My name is Harry Dickens, and I'm from Texarkana, Arkansas, and I'm on the EAST Executive Council, and I'm the chair of the board.
So, Mr. Dickens, it is awesome to get to sit here and talk to you, first of all. But I'd love to know, you've had a lot of involvement in EAST, it sounds like, and you've been around for a good while. And those are the folks I love to talk to.
We've been around for a long time.
Yes, sir. So I would love to know just kind of your EAST journey, kind of where it started, what was your first introduction to EAST, and kind of how that's evolved to now you being the chair of the board of directors.
Thank you so much. Well, EAST was a long time ago for me, almost 30 years ago myself, in Texarkana at our junior high school. Our EAST facilitator, they were setting up his room, and I was actually still teaching in the classroom. And they said, hey, you want to come help with the EAST lab? I said, oh, yeah, sure. So we started running cables. I said, oh, my God, why so many cables?
Right.
So we started running cables.
Too many cables.
Too many cables, setting up computers, setting up programs, setting up printers. I was like, this is pretty cool. So we got that one set, and his classroom was like right down the hall from me. So I was able to walk by there.
You're able to look in a little bit.
And it's like, okay, this is what they're doing. So it was exciting to see that. And then we added like 4 more EAST labs in the district.
Oh, wow.
And what's so cool, after I left the classroom, I was technology director for the district. And I was able to help with EAST labs even more. And even distance learning, said all that stuff was first. Here's the first time we're going to do this. So I enjoyed that. I like being first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I love being first. So Mr. Dozer came down and said, well, we're working on, I think he called me and said, we're working on another EAST lab. We're going to go elementary this time. I said, okay, cool. So you ready for a school? He said, yeah, but I think we have a school in Texas. I said, no.
No.
Not happening. So College Hill Elementary School, our first elementary EAST lab, I was so happy to put that together. So been doing this a long time and seeing some of the kids. I was looking at some of the books over there at Neil Billiam, and I saw some kids that were teaching PowerPoint. And I laughed because we don't do PowerPoint anymore.
Nope.
But they were teaching PowerPoint. And then I saw one of my students, he was an engineer, and he was in school at the University of Arkansas, and he designed bridges here in Arkansas, but now he designs bridges all over the world. So just amazing. So a lot of experience.
It's really incredible. As someone, I've been a part of EAST for 7 years, and it's incredible even just in my short time. I can't imagine in 26 years how the students, the staff, the overall just idea of EAST to just continue to grow and evolve, especially with the amount of students, the programs. It's just wild. And that's why I love coming here today, is looking through the archives and looking through all the different things. You get to see how many students really have gone from just a regular high school student or a regular middle school student. And then, like you said, with your student specifically, how he's just doing so much good for the federal government and for the state of Arkansas. And so I'd love to know kind of what your biggest, aha moment was in EAST, where it was like, okay, this is actually like a really big deal. This is really impactful. This is really going to change students' lives. Do you have a specific moment when that was?
I have so many, but one special moment. One special moment is my niece, Naya. She was an EAST student in Hot Springs, and it opened her eyes. She became such a good speaker. She was confident. And seeing that with her and seeing that with other students, that's been my big aha.
That's all you need.
That's all I need.
That's been the biggest thing for me, is I was always a student that loved to talk, but I didn't know how I could use it for good and how I could use it to make an impact. And especially knowing Naya personally, I just remember the first time I walked up to her, I'm like, this girl is so much fun. She's so vibrant. And hearing you talk about how that wasn't that way originally, how she was more shy and timid, that just goes to show you how important EAST is to kids at the end of the day. Is even those really simple changes of, it may not be necessarily connected to a project, it's just those everyday changes that you see that it turns a kid into someone that is just a completely different person and a better person because of it.
Exactly.
I'd love to know, so as you know, I'm sure as you know, this year is our greatest hits for our 30th anniversary is our conference theme. And so I've been asking everybody today, what do you think your greatest hit in EAST is?
Wow. I think my greatest hit in EAST is GIS, the software.
Right.
And actually seeing that being used in the city. Mapping houses.
Right.
And it was so cool. What was so cool for me about that right there was I didn't know what it was. And then our bus garage got the GIS software.
Oh, wow.
And we had to map houses and map where kids were coming from so they could develop bus routes. I was like, this is too cool.
Right.
So that was
It's neat, isn't
that
it?
was so cool learning that and going downtown and seeing it there in the engineering's office. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. That's my biggest one right there.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It was so wonderful to get to meet you and talk to you. This is just an example to everybody of how much our board loves and pours into the students here at EAST, how much our staff, and we just have so many people cheering for us, and I want to thank you for kind of leading that charge.
Thank you so
much. It was so wonderful to get to talk to you today,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Pickens.
Same here. Thank you.
All right, we were back here with another special guest. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself for me?
I'm Tammy Baker, and I'm the Director of New Programs at EAST.
All right, so you mentioned earlier you kind of work a little behind the scenes. So how is it to be kind of out here and seeing everybody here today?
I love it because I've been a part of EAST in some form or fashion since 2004. I was an EAST facilitator and at 2 different schools. And so when I first came through phase in 2004, I'm seeing some of those people who taught me. And so it is just it's great being able to see everybody and hug some necks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today is full of connections because we are yet back here for the 30th year anniversary. And being able to be back here, you mentioned it's just awesome to hug necks to get to see it.
That's right.
So with that, how have you been able to keep those connections throughout the years?
We have a fantastic communications team, and they are instrumental in sharing everything that we do. And for as long as I can remember, we have always done a good job at staying in touch, whether it's alumni, whether it's former trainers, student trainers, or whether it's former facilitator trainers. I think we've always done a good job of staying in touch with those people. And I think that they become so connected to EAST that they seek us out as well. So I think it's a mutual.
Yes. So connections are obviously a very big part because I'm just looking around the room and we have so many people here from all different backgrounds, students, alumni, facilitators, all of the things.
Yes.
And my question for you is, how are you feeling today? How's it?
I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love seeing all the kids here, not just from Greenbrier, but from other schools. And everybody is talking to everybody. You know, we don't do enough of that. We need to get out and we need to visit other programs, go see what other people are doing. And so we're getting a taste of that today.
Yes. So I love being able to connect with everybody. This is my thing. I love getting to do this. Mm-hmm. And I know that another opportunity to do this is at EAST Conference. And I just want to know, how have you seen EAST Conference play out over the years?
How have
you just seen conference as a whole over the years?
Conference, it has grown so much over the years. And to see where we are today from 20 years ago, 21 years ago when I started, it's amazing. And it's kids out making those connections, you know. And for us to be going into our 30th anniversary celebration, the greatest hits, you know, we are going to see the greatest hits. And all of the kids that are going to get to be a part of this, they're going to be part of history. This is history in the making right now.
Yes, I am. So with it being 30 years, we've been here a long time. We've been doing this for several years. And I know that so many students have been impacted by this. How have you seen firsthand the impact it has had on students?
Oh, goodness. We have leaders in the community like Ashton Pruitt that's here today. She's going to be one of our speakers. She is the president of the Chamber of Commerce here in Greenbrier. And she says that EAST changed the trajectory of her life. And it's not just Ashton. For every Ashton, there are hundreds of other alumni that say the same thing.
So you mentioned earlier that our theme this year, it's greatest hit. What do you consider your greatest hit in EAST?
My greatest hit in EAST, my students. I've been at our EAST headquarters for 14 years, but I still go back to my EAST babies. Yeah. Those kids, they did such amazing things. They were my greatest hits.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so we are back with Empowered by EAST here at our 30th anniversary kickoff. I have a very special guest with me here today, so if you could please introduce yourself.
My name is Wendell Scales, coming from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Alrighty, Mr. Wendell, so I'd love to know, what is your connection to EAST? Like, how are you involved? And if you are in any way, just let us know a little bit about that.
Yeah, first year board member. So
Oh, wow.
we're kicking it off
Very fancy.
with the 30th
Yes, sir.
anniversary.
That's the best way to start it, I think.
Man.
I think you've definitely come into a great year because as someone who's been in EAST for 7 years, we love our board members, but I think it's so important that you guys really get to see, like, get as in depth as we are and get to have these experiences along with the students.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know, coming in, like, what was your first impression coming in to the board this year?
Well, just the connectivity, Arkansas is not a big state. So, when you see who's on the board and you see the work that you do in the community, there's a lot of connectedness, right?
Right,
So,
right.
And the passion for youth, right?
Oh, yes.
I think that's the most important piece. Excited to work with some bright minds to make sure that y'all got what y'all need to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I think my grandma has always said that Arkansas is the biggest small town ever. Yeah. And I think that's really important, especially for students, is that you kind of build this big family, especially in EAST. EAST has given us the incredible opportunity, especially with the 30th anniversary, because we're focusing on so much of what we've done in the past, but also how we're going to grow and continue on and continue to do even more in the next 30 years and hopefully even after that. But I'd just love to know, like, how are you feeling kind of, since we're empowered by EAST for the podcast, I'd love to know how you're feeling empowered going into this 30th anniversary, even with this being your first year.
Yeah, well, I think there's an excitement around a lot of the first, right? So this is the 30th. This is a kickoff. There's an excitement about being back to school. As I drove into the campus, I was energized, and I was like, oh, okay. This is Greenbrier. Okay,
yes,
this is okay. They got a lot of amenities, a lot of space, and as I walked in, I felt that energy, and I know that'll carry over into the year.
Absolutely. Well, I think for students especially, it feels kind of different because obviously with conference every year, I mean, I know Blair and I, my co-hosts, have been to conference both several times, and I know for us, conference is kind of the highlight of the year, and it is just the collection for every single school and every program of the best that they've gotten. Especially this year, it's the greatest hits. And so it's not only every program bringing their greatest hits, but it's EAST itself for 30 years bringing its greatest hits. So I'd love to know, since this is your first year on the board, what are you kind of anticipating, expecting, looking forward to at conference this year?
I'm always excited. I've been to EAST conferences.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'm very excited about, I love the littles. I love the young people.
Yes. They're the best.
We were talking earlier, a lot of times the uniqueness of EAST is y'all give the access to students and allow them to figure it out. I'm always intrigued when I go to conference about the innovative ideas in these smaller towns most of the time, and the resources they have to really shape the future of work, career technology. It's really exciting.
Yep. And I think especially walking around EAST Conference, seeing all the different booths and the different schools, the thing that always amazes me the most is how many younger kids that we have. Because I'm a senior in high school, and I'm just amazed and constantly like, wow, I've got to go back and start doing more, because especially with like our younger elementary school ages and our middle schoolers, it's so fascinating, the ideas that they come up with and the things they really want to make the world a better place. And sometimes when you get caught up and you get starting in adulthood and start applying to colleges, and you kind of lose that like magic to it.
Right.
And so it's so much fun to get to go to conference, and even not in conference, but in places like this, and see how much value and impact there is in the youngest people that we have at EAST.
The young people keep us young.
Right.
So as you go into adulthood, remember that, okay?
Yes.
So stay around the young people. They'll give you energy, and they'll keep you inspired, and make you want to keep doing more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think EAST is such an incredible tool that Arkansas has to offer, and it's kind of like our own secret piece of treasure that nobody else has.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know, just finally, what is one thing you're looking forward to serving on the board this year, kind of outside of any specific event?
When we look back next year, making sure that this catapulted us to achieve all of our goals as a board. One day you may be on the board, right? So hopefully we do a good job to achieve our goals, to add new members around the state, right? To add new schools around the state, to add new partners around the state. So those are some of my big takeaways coming into the board. Really just want to make an impact, connecting others to this diamond in the rough, if you will, for the state of Arkansas. Yeah.
All righty. Thank you so much, Mr. Wendell, for spending some time with us today. We're so thankful that you're here and that the rest of the board is here, and we're excited to continue celebrating today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we are back with Empowered by EAST, and today I have yet another special guest. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ashton Pruitt, right here from Greenbrier. I'm an alum, and I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad that you're here today. So, as an alum, what brought you back here?
Gosh, I mean, EAST really shaped my life. With everything that I've ever done in the program, it definitely helped transform all of the skills and help cultivate me into who I am today. It really made a big impact on my life. And in fact, I still use all those skills that I do in the real world, all thanks to EAST. So it's pretty crazy.
Yes, Sam. This is my 8th year in EAST, and through EAST, I've been able to just develop my communication skills. And I just know that little me would be like, oh my gosh, you're doing a podcast right now. So what skills specifically did you learn at EAST that you're able to take with you?
Well, I was looking through some of my scrapbooks from high school back in the day, and it's kind of neat because I found several certificates from EAST Conference and just from EAST in general here at Greenbrier High School. Video editing. I use that every day. I made a video the other morning, 30 seconds, that aired on a YouTube channel the other day. And so it's kind of crazy. But video editing, music mixing, web design, graphic design, all of that I use on a day-to-day basis.
Sam, those are all great skills that I know several students across the state are learning daily, just because graphic design and video editing is becoming so prominent with social media. So what specifically do you use with, like, where do you use that at?
Well, I work for the Greenbrier Chamber of Commerce. Okay. And so I'm the president, CEO of that organization. Also, I'm director of communications for the city of Greenbrier. I also work for the Arkansas State Fair. I do the marketing behind a program that we have there at the Arkansas State Fair. And so I use all of those skills in literally every organization. I also have 13 years of experience in radio television. I was a radio DJ for a long time. And so, yeah, it was so much fun. But I use all of those things in that field too. And so just being really, entrenched with all of that is stuff that has carried me through to all those different career and different avenues.
Sam, so you're an alumni here from Greenbrier. So when you were at Greenbrier, what initially plugged you into that field? What was your interest there?
Yes. Well, I think, I play sports. I loved basketball, but it got to the point where I was like, well, I'm not going to be the star. I might as well be the star somewhere else. And so I had a teacher say, well, why don't you get involved in EAST? And so in middle school, I was in a class with the late Joe King. He was a wonderful teacher. We loved him so much, and got me interested in working with CAD. And so that's, of course, ancient, but I started getting involved in that class. And then in middle school, I just continued to stay in the program. In fact, my senior year, I had EAST 2 times in a row.
Oh, wow. That's a dream.
For 2 periods. And so I just continued to stay in the program and work on different projects throughout the years. And my very first project, I was looking through my files, was a web of lies and guidelines, internet safety. So I created a whole program for children back in middle school, and I went to different schools and I gave this presentation and allowed kids to kind of sign a pledge to be mindful of guidelines. I mean, of course, this is in the era of like chat rooms and stuff. Social media wasn't a thing. Again, this was then, but anyway, lots of fun.
Lots of fun. So you said that you started out, you were using technology that we don't use as much so now, and you said that even today you're still using the technology skills that you learned. How have you personally seen it evolve from where it was?
Well, I was, again, looking through those files as I was leading up to today, and so I have a certificate in my scrapbook from EAST. It says Dreamweaver completion, and it was like a class that we had taken at EAST conference or something. And so I'm like, I don't even know if that program exists. It was for web design, and so yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how it has evolved. But back in the day, in my senior year, we didn't even have a way to record our voices, like lavalier mics here at Green, but we didn't have anything, okay? And so to record my voice, I had to use a camcorder and record myself talking on the news or talking with a news story and import that into Adobe Premiere, save that, audio file and clip the video and just to save an MP3.
Oh my
and again, it was very primitive. And of course, now at Greenbrier, we have a lot of different, technologies. We have microphones. And
Yes.
so anyway, it was a time to be alive. But I think really EAST challenges you to be innovative, right? Even though I didn't have the tools that I really needed to be successful, I made what I had in my capacity and what I had at hand work for the project, And I think that's what instills kids to be successful in EAST and really be successful in life.
Yes, Sam. We had someone earlier on the podcast mention that staying with young people really is where the innovation comes from, where you stay fresh with ideas. Have you been able to see that through these younger kids?
Sure. Oh, my goodness. There was a young man who worked on a project a couple years ago, and he did mapping of our community and prominent places throughout the town. I was just mind blown about his knowledge with GIS, and it was really encouraging to see that. His project now is still on our city website. We have it as a small link in a news story, and it gets hits randomly, and so I love seeing that, still kind of thrive. But throughout the years, we've had kids that have worked on digital and like 3D models of an overpass that we desperately need. We've had other projects come through the EAST program, and it's really been cool to kind of see those come to light.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I love EAST.
Alrighty, so welcome back to Empowered by EAST. I'm here with yet another special guest today. So if you could please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Leslie Novelka. This is my 10th grade year.
10th grade year? Alrighty. So how long have you been at EAST?
I've been in EAST for 4 years.
4 years. So this is really special this year. I'm sure you know. It's kind of obvious today. But this is 30 years of EAST that we're celebrating here at your school today. So tell us a little bit about, is it special for you guys being in the founding program? Is it kind of different? Does it motivate you to kind of do more and kind of hold a certain standard or something? I'd love to know.
I definitely do feel like it does play a part in motivation because the teacher does tell us a lot more. We have a little bit of a higher expectation since EAST started in Greenbrier. And she just emphasizes to put all of the fundamentals of EAST into the projects.
Well, I think it's really important, and I think facilitators are a huge part of what we're able to do as students. Of course, we have our own student-led environment where we can learn and grow at our own pace. But of course, having a facilitator that's there to help you and push you and motivate you is really important. So I'd love to know kind of if you're looking forward to anything specifically today that maybe we don't know about, anything you might know secret that's happening today. By the time we see this, everybody else will know about it. So I'd love to know if you have anything that you're specifically looking forward to hearing, anybody that's talking or doing anything, or the archives that we have around us. I'd love to know if you're excited about anything.
There's nothing too secretive that I know, but I am doing a speech. So
okay.
I am the student speaker, yeah. I'm excited for that.
You're excited?
A little bit nervous, though.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. Definitely, you'll do great, though. So now, thanks for telling me that. So now that you're going to be the student speaker, what are you kind of excited to highlight? Are you giving kind of your student perspective of the Greenbrier EAST program? What are you excited to kind of talk about within that?
I'm excited to talk about my experiences making projects because I feel like that's not emphasized enough, and it's just how to make the projects and not really experiences from within making the projects.
Right. Well, I think for me, I definitely agree with that because you always focus on the work that it goes into the project, but nobody ever asks you about, okay, well, how did working on that project impact you? What skills did it give you? How did it make you a better EAST student? And so I think it's really important that you highlight that today. I'd love to know just kind of how you think you've grown in EAST. Do you think you're a completely different person? I know for me, I just feel like EAST has completely changed the person that I am and how I look at the world. So I'd love to know just how you think EAST has changed you as a person, as a student, as a friend, kind of overall.
It's definitely changed me as a person a lot because last year I was terrified to talk to my classmates, and here I am this year doing a speech.
Yeah.
Because in EAST you can't really go and do projects quietly and by yourself. It requires a lot of communication and collaboration. Pretty sure that's a line in my speech actually because I really emphasized that.
Yeah.
But it's changed me as a student because I have a lot more managing abilities now and a little bit to make it a little bit more self-paced.
Right, for sure. Well, I'd love to know I keep saying I'd love to know, but I really do, because it's so important to me that we realize like the different students that we have within EAST, because we're all completely different people. And even with the board members that we have, the staff, like everybody is not the same type of person. And I think that's what makes EAST really special, is because we're very like, come as you are. You can be whoever you are in EAST. We have a place for you. That's one of the biggest things that was always stressed to me, is like EAST is going to meet you where you're at. No matter where you're at school, the program in general is going to grow you as a person, no matter if you're the best talker or if you're the best like tech-wise. Like, it's always going to help you grow and learn and kind of help you in other areas that you might not have already been a part of. So what's one area that you think like you have grown the most outside of kind of how you were saying about public speaking and talking that has really just completely made a difference in your life?
It's probably my managing abilities, and yeah, definitely the managing abilities.
Like managing like multiple things at once,
Yeah.
project-wise. I agree. It's definitely been a huge part for me. Is you definitely learned how to multitask and deal with 18 different things at the same time, which is really, really important. So finally, I just want to ask you, what are you looking forward to most in EAST this year, in your EAST classroom?
I've had an EAST project I was thinking about doing, which I'm really excited about. It was restarting a program at my school that went out 2 years ago.
Okay.
I was thinking about giving, it's like, do you know HOSA?
Yes.
I was going to restart HOSA for the junior high and high school, but for the junior high, I was going to do it a little bit differently. I was going to put insight to the project ideas or the things you can take to state and nationals. Give a little bit of insight to that, because I know I was in FELA last year, and that it would help a lot if I had more insight on that.
Right.
And I just think restarting HOSA would be really important to me. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Wonderful. Alrighty, so thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Weston, for coming and sitting here with us today. We're looking forward to hearing your speech in just a few minutes, hopefully. And so thank you so much. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Before we begin our final interview of the episode, please make sure to take a moment to subscribe to Empowered by EAST and never miss out on new episodes throughout the school year. Thank you all so much for listening and for all of your support. Now let's hear from Blair and her guest, EAST parent and Deputy Director of the Arkansas Opioid Recovery Partnership, Tanisha Barnes.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so good. You know, I'm really excited to be back here in Greenbrier for the 30th year.
This is amazing.
Yes, I am.
I'm excited about it as well. Well, this will be my second conference with the EAST.
Wow, that's so fun. Okay, so with this being EAST's 30th year anniversary, how are you tied? How are you tied to this year?
So I am technically a EAST mom, not a EAST alum. Okay. So my two kiddos came through EAST, and they were excited about coming into this. And so that's been my big plug, to bring in different people, different students into EAST. That's been my whole challenge the entire time, that all of my nieces and nephews, I have about 20.
Oh, wow.
Running through EAST. So I am an EAST mom.
A deep history there.
Yeah.
So how have you seen EAST impact through your children and your relatives?
My daughter is an architectural engineer because of EAST.
Oh, wow.
My son is at Henderson State because of EAST, and he's also doing digital marketing. He's an entrepreneur.
Okay, wow.
They've been doing this a long time.
That's great. That's very impressive. I love how EAST is able to take students and plug them into an interest that they wouldn't have gotten to explore. So how did they discover that interest through EAST?
So through their school, there was a program, EAST came out, and they were like, Mom, can I join this? I said, sure, jump in. And so when my daughter, that's the architect, she jumped in and she said, well, Mom, I'm going to try to draw a little bit, knowing that her mom can. So I said, go ahead and do your thing. So she jumped in, and the teacher there jumped in and said, hey, let's try architect. See, she would like to draw. And she's like, I don't know if I'm good at that. And turned out she's very good.
Wow.
She became, went to Fed there and became an architecture engineer. On top of, my son went to EASTM as well, went through EAST. He thought he wanted to be a construction engineer. Turned out that wasn't his passion.
Yeah.
When he was in EAST, he was doing digital. He was trying to develop apps. He was trying to do all these different things. And so I told him, go back to what you know.
Yeah.
Go back to what EAST taught you. Go back to digital marketing, and that's what EAST did.
Well, that's amazing. I love that. I just love how EAST is able to take a project that you never would have gotten to explore, and they're just able to go completely into it, and that's wonderful. So with them being in college, how have you stayed plugged into the EAST world?
So basically, I've had a niece that now goes to Conway. She went to EAST. And so I've been just pulling students, trying to show them how EAST is important, how it can guide your life, how it can set you up and get you ready to start your careers. So that's pretty much what I've been doing at EAST.
Well, I think that's wonderful, and I love that you're plugging people in because it's so important for us to create that sense of community here, and I hope that you've been able to see that through Greenbrier and all the other schools.
Well, I'm excited about this, and I'm excited about what we're about to do today.
Yes, ma'am.
Blair, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Want to know more about EAST? Check out our website at eastinitiative.org and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Until next time, keep dreaming big and doing awesome things. See you soon.